Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We have not got anywhere. We continue to try to find out answers, and we've hit roadblocks every which way that we've turned.
The frustration continues to build for a Northern Valley family who lost their home to a fire almost a month ago. Family members say firefighters took too long to respond, and it cost them their home.
But the fire department disagrees. This family called our whistleblower hotline shortly after the fire, wanting us to look into it. We did, and today, Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero returned for a follow-up.
We don't know. We have no answers, and we just would like some answers.
Angela Wright says it's been nearly a month and she hasn't gotten any answers to what caused her home in Warsaw, North Dakota to burn down.
People want to know answers on why their animals perished, why their house started on fire, and what do we do now, you know?
On November 12th, the Wright home caught on fire. The home, 6 pets, and all of their belongings were lost. The family of 5 now live in a camper not far from the home. Minto and Warsaw are 5.4 miles apart. Wright previously told us the Minto Volunteer Fire Department took nearly an hour to respond. She says she believed that her home would have been saved if they arrived earlier.
One in particular person said it was because it was a holiday and everybody was with their families on that day, and they are volunteers.
I'm standing on the road that goes from Warsaw out to Minto. We made several attempts to get someone from the Minto Volunteer Fire Department to speak on camera. However, they refused. But they did send us an email that said they responded to the fire in less than 15 minutes. They say the page came in at 10:36 a.m. and firefighters made it to the scene by 10:49 a.m. Wright takes issue with their timings. She showed me a screenshot of November 12th. It says she first called 911 at 10:27 a.m., then called again at 10:43.
Now, whether it took a minute for them to gather my information, they'll say 10:28, but that's nowhere near the time.
We filed an open records request for the 911 tapes of that day, but the Walsh County Sheriff has refused to release them. In Warsaw, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
We also called the state fire marshal's office for a copy of its investigation into the cause of the fire. They told us it isn't ready yet.
Fargo police want your help in figuring out who this individual is. They say he was involved in a recent rent box theft. If you know, call our tip line at 701-241-5777. Reference the photo number 89.
The Fargo Police Department is investigating a recent crime spree after they arrested a man who had a laundry list of items on him that didn't exactly belong to him. 35-year-old Jesse Fett is charged with possession of stolen property and could soon be facing several other charges for thefts and burglaries. This after officers found many suspicious items in his possession. Police say Fett had not checked in with his probation officer yet on November 29th when police spotted his car parked at the Baymont Hotel in South Fargo. Officers found a package sitting in plain view on a dresser that was addressed to someone other than Fett, but he told them it was his friends. Police say the package had about $200 worth of items in it and that it was stolen from a local apartment building's entryway. During a search of Fett's car, officers found a set of apartment master keys and a backpack full of quarters, possibly linked to several vandalized laundry machines in the area or other package thefts. Fett was convicted on felony burglary and theft charges earlier this year and sentenced to 18 months of probation.
Some flakes have been falling around our area. The temps are dropping as well. Hutch, bundle up tomorrow morning.
Indeed, many in the Northern Valley seeing some clearing skies and that clear air and cold air thanks to the north winds moving our general direction. Temperatures in the single digits in Devil's Lake and Grand Forks this hour, holding on the 20s though in Sisseton and Alexandria. Wind chills already down to nearly 10 below in the Northern Valley. Hour-by-hour forecast shows our air temperatures will be diving well below zero for many in the north with wind chills between 10 and 20 below as you're heading to work or the bus stop in the morning. It's a cold start to your Thursday. I'll have details on the close of your day tomorrow, and we'll look into a warming trend that's around the corner here in a minute.
That sounds real intriguing.
And it does.
Thanks.
The body of former President George H.W. Bush is set to lie in repose all night at the Houston church where his family worshiped. People lined the roadway and traffic in the opposite lane slowed as the motorcade passed by. Tomorrow's funeral will be held at St. Martin's Episcopal Church. One member from each of the 5 armed service branches are standing around Bush's casket. The president's body will be buried at the Bush Memorial Library, where wife Barbara and their daughter are buried.
Authorities say a Fargo man faces multiple charges after evading police and driving recklessly through Fargo. Officers say 30-year-old Leroy Manning ran red lights, drove backwards, and continually tried to bait officers by driving past them slowly and showing unfriendly hand gestures. Fargo police found Manning's red Dodge Charger just before 4:30 this morning. They tried pulling him over, but they say he wouldn't stop. They eventually used stop sticks at 9th Avenue and 42nd Street South. Manning surrendered, was arrested for fleeing in a motor vehicle, reckless endangerment, and driving under suspension, which is his 4th offense in 5 years.
A heater in a 2-year-old's bedroom was the cause of a bad fire in Stearns County, Minnesota. Investigators say blankets sitting near the heater caught fire.
What you can do to make sure you and your children are safe, Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer asked an expert.
Their intent is to have the air move on the bottom, come through the top, and heat the room.
Del Sprecher is a fire marshal with the West Fargo Fire Department. And this is the time of year when he sees more house fires caused by space heaters. But there's another culprit in some homes that could lead to devastation. That's baseboard heaters.
They do get hot. That's a heater, and they work on convection, which means there's no fan or anything blowing in it, just a heat rise.
Sprecher tells us the best way to avoid any kind of fire with these heaters is simple. Keep things off of them.
So biggest thing to remember, keep things a foot away at least.
At least a foot?
These baseboard
heaters. Yes.
And don't have currents draping over them, toys on them.
Yeah, just don't put any blankets or lay any objects on top of them, because that's not the intent of them.
And as a West Fargo fire marshal, he inspects these heaters in public hallways of apartment buildings. But when it comes to your private residence, that's up to you to make sure you have nothing laying near or on these heaters. In West Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
The West Fargo Fire Marshal also tells us fires from these kinds of heaters are rare in the FM area, but through research we found that there has been some recalls on some of them in the past. To stay up to date on those, you can visit our Consumer Product Safety Commission's website.
A daycare in Enderlin High School is getting some backlash after a provider working there admitted to Snapchatting with a student. A viewer reached out to our whistleblower hotline with their concerns, so we investigated. Philip French, the superintendent of Enderlin Area Schools, tells us the daycare provider and a student met outside of school. He says there was no evidence of any sexual contact, but there's an investigation that's being done to determine that. The superintendent also says the daycare provider is a family friend of the student's mother. Stay with us here on Valley News Live as we continue to bring you updates around this investigation. If you need help uncovering corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576. You can leave your tip, and then a member of our investigative team will work hard to expose the truth.
Electric car owners in the area have a new charging hub to use, and it's free for a while. The ZEF Energy Public Electric Charging Station is located at the Holiday Center in Moorhead. That's 800 Holiday Drive. It allows up to 3 cars to charge at a time, including 1 direct current fast charger and 2 level 2 chargers.
And it's just nice to know that there are facilities like this that can give you a fast charge. By the time you have a cup of coffee or a sandwich, you're ready to go another 200 miles down the road. This is an important step forward, and we're really happy to be here.
For the next month, the charger is free to use. After that, it's $6 to $9 for every 30 minutes of charging.
We are beyond excited to announce that our very own Rose Itzkovitz has given birth to a beautiful baby girl. Meet Riley Bree. She was born last night around 10:30 at 8 pounds, 21 inches. So congratulations to Rose and her husband, Anthony.
Cute little kid. Later on Valley News Live at 10. Don't let the loud bangs in downtown Fargo alarm you. We'll let you know what's going on there next.
North winds bringing cold air into the valley. Radar shows a few flakes, and as we take a look at our Dakota Magic Casino down south, a few flakes drifting through the shot there at this late hour. Your hour-by-hour forecast shows a warming trend. Details next.